Hello everyone, it's just a dad. So Amazon Prime Days are here. I've got some of the best deals. I've done all the research. I'm going to show you exactly what deals are too good to pass up. I'm going to show you all different price ranges. Now, I did buy all these robot vacuum cleaners with my own money, and I wasn't paid for this video. But if you want to help me out, I do use links. So in my underneath in the description of this video, you'll see links that'll take you to Amazon. I also have a website called justadadapproved.com. Both of those places use links. If you click on the product, it'll take you to the Amazon website. You can purchase the product. That's the prices that I'm showing you here right now. And if you purchase the product using my link, I get a small commission from the sale. It's a way of helping support my channel. That way I can continue to do these reviews, give you my honest opinion on these robot vacuum cleaners. I've done extensive testing on all these robot vacuum cleaners. I'm not going to go into the nitty gritty. We're going to get right to it. I'm going to show you which ones to buy. Now, after you buy it, I have the setup video. I have how to clean it. I have a comparison if you want to see it compared to the next closest competitor. So let's get started on my picks, but I'm going to show you behind the scenes so that you'll understand where I'm coming from on how I did my research. So here's my board that I picked. Now, there are some that are like honorable mention. I've got under $300, and I've got some only if you want to buy a Roomba. They're not on my recommended list, but there are a few if you absolutely have to have a Roomba. And then I've got like $400 and up, over $700 category, and over $1,000 category. And then here's just my quick list. The Mova P10 Pro, Roborock QV35A, Dream L10S Gen 2, Dream L40, Edge S5A, Mova P50, Revo Slim, Curve, and then some cheaper ones, the Q10 X5 and Plus Gen 2. I also have a detailed chart, and I'm going to be working on this for more in the future, of what each robot, all the characteristics of each robot. This is something I will be working on in the future. Here's a rack of the cheaper Roborocks that I purchased. There's a rack of the Revos. There's more Revos and the Saros 10R over there. Here's my Mova and Dream rack. We got the L10S Heat X50. Here's one I'm really highly recommended, the D10 Plus Gen 2. Now I do have a rack of the Shark robot vacuum cleaners. There's only a couple that I'm recommending, but they're not highly recommended. And here's all the Roombas that I've purchased. Again, not on my recommended list, but if you absolutely have to have an iRobot Roomba brand, there are a couple that you can get. And then here's the Eufys. Let's start with my too good to pass up. Amazon Prime Days are the 8th through the 11th. The prices that I'm seeing here, I don't know if they're going to last, if we'll see this again this year or not. These are just too good to pass up. Now, the first one is the Mova P10 Pro. I'm seeing $449 right now. It might actually go down to $400. I have seen it at $400 before. That's why I just don't exactly know the price of it yet. But the Mova P10 Pro is my #1 favorite robot, followed by the Roborock QV35A and the Dream L10S Gen 2. Now, this is the Dream L40. The L10S Gen 2 is actually in my basement right now cleaning. Highly recommended. These robots have base stations, and the base stations are gonna wash the mop pads and auto empty the dustbins, and that's an all automatic feature. This is why I'm starting in this area. This is $400, and I can't stress to you enough how this $400 price point is the perfect price point for these robots. You've got some robots that cost more that don't do what these do, and you got some that, well, you don't have any that cost less to do these, but I just can't stress enough of all my testing. This is the sweet spot, this $400. Typically these do, when they're full price, they're like $500, $600, $700, which then they don't become a buy. There's other robots that are better, but man, when these are $400, they're absolutely, I love them. You're gonna have a great user experience, automatic. Again, they have a clean water tank, a dirty water tank. They both have a dust, all of them have a dust bag that you're going to change. So the robot's going to come back to the base station. It's going to wash the mop pads, suck the water up into the dirty water tank, and auto empty the dustbin. This $400 price point is a very basic price point. You don't get advanced features, but you do get spinning mop pads. They can raise them up and down. They have carpet sensors, and #1 thing, they have LiDAR navigation. That is the sweet spot for these robots. Now, I'm going to show you when we start bumping up in price, like the L40, you're going to start getting more fancier features. You're going to start getting a camera. You're going to start getting brushes that come off to the side, mop pads that move. extra features in the base station. They do extra stuff, but you're going to pay more for that. So again, Mova P10 Pro, absolutely love it. I've done extensive testing. I've done a lot of comparisons with this one. It's just a great robot for this price point. You get a camera, you get mop pads. It even moves one of the mop pads off to the side, which this for $400, even for $449, this is a great bargain because one of the side brushes moves into the corner. You have a camera on the front and you have a mop pad that moves. Now, the Dream L10S Gen 2 does that also. The side brush doesn't move. But now, this Q Revo, it is very basic from Roborock. It's the QV35A. The mop pad doesn't move to the side brush doesn't move, it's anti-tangle. But I really do like Roborock from a standpoint of it's just kind of a solid robot it's gonna do very, very well for you. The Q Revo signs very well, but they sell a ton of Q Revos and they just kind of progressively march up. I do have a Roborock video, Amazon Prime Days, just on the Roborock. There's so many different models and I show you all the sale prices, but I kind of explain each one of them to you. So again, Mova P10 Pro, hopefully we're gonna see $400. $449, absolute buy. QV35A 400, Dream L10S Gen 2. They sell a Dream L10S Ultra. It's okay. It was the #1 pick last year for that price point for $400. But now they're giving you the Gen 2. The Gen 2 doesn't have a camera on the front, so if you're worried about privacy, it's a great one. But again, that's just a great robot. I don't mind the L10S Ultra without the Gen 2, but the Gen 2 is better. So if they sell out of the Gen 2, get the L10S Ultra. Now, too good to pass up is the Dream L40. That's this one right here, okay? Now, we were bumping up in price a little bit, $600. Your base station is going to have an advanced feature. It's going to have hot water, mop washing, hot air. It's also going to have a dirt detection sensor. So when it washes the mop pads and sucks the water up into the dirty water tank, it's going to pass through a sensor. If the water's dirtier than normal, it's going to tell the robot, go back and remop that area you just came from. I love that feature. It does cost extra money, but it's absolutely worth it. What we're going to get with this, we're going to get a mop pad that moves out to the side brush that extends. You get a nice camera, LiDAR navigation. This is a solid robot with a lot of advanced features. That $600 price point, you don't see that very often. But there's going to be a really close competitor for $700, the Roborock Edge. So here we have the Roborock Edge S5A. Make sure it's got this S5A on the end of it. $700. This is a super great robot for if you have pets with long hairs because it has the dual divide brush roller that's great. Anti-tangle side brush extends the mop pad, extends all that. Now they sell an Edge that doesn't have the S5A. It's about $300 or $400 more. You get a camera. This, if you're worried about privacy, this one does not have a camera, microphone, or anything on it. It's just got a simple a sensor on the front here to help you detect things that are on the ground. It does an okay job. I do prefer the one with the camera. I think it does a little bit better job, and it also has chassis lift, but you can save some money not having those advanced features. $700. I have never seen this one this low. Advanced dock. It's got the hot water, hot air. You've got that dirt detection sensor that I love. So this is going to be a close. These are in a tie-up. Well, no, the L40 is $100 cheaper. So, but yeah, this one is not the best with long hairs, but you can get a long hair tri-cut brush. It's like $50 more. So then you're starting to get really close to the edge. This right here, these dual divide brush rollers actually work with long hair. Again, it extends the mop pad to the side brush. So that's why you see I'm kind of leaning toward the Edge S5A because long hair, I absolutely love it. No camera, does have a camera. Okay, next on my list, we're bumping up in price a little bit. The Mova P50. I don't have it here with me right now. It's undergoing my 3-month real world testing at my house. So that's what I do with 80% of these robot vacuum cleaners end up at my house. I put them through a rigorous 3-month test where they're cleaning my house, my whole house, sometimes once or about 3 or 4 times a week. We do have pets, so they're actually, they're just getting a really world test. And I do the 3-month real world test video. And that's where we really see how these things work. So the Mova P50, It's at my home doing the 3-month test, $700. That's gonna be, I do prefer, well, again, if you have long hair, you're gonna want the Edge S5A, which I showed you. The Mova P50, same price. Q Revo Slim, okay. That's this one right here. I do like the Q Revo Slim. Now, all the ones I've showed you had LiDAR navigation. This one has something called Starsight. To me, it looks and acts just like LiDAR. I don't really notice a difference. So I'm not too worried about it, but you get a slim profile. You don't have the spinning LiDAR on top, so it can go under furniture more. That can be a problem because sometimes these will get stuck in places that normally these wouldn't. So, but you can put a no-go zone. But you're gonna have, it's got the older technology of the dual brush rollers. These will get some long hair wrap around them. You do have the side brush, it's not anti-tangle. You have the mop pads that go up and down, and it can extend one to the side. So lots of advanced features. The docking station is just like the Q Revo. It's just like this, except it has hot air, hot water. It's got the dirt detection sensor. So nice advanced features. So I do recommend the Slim. You're working up into a price point of $900. Now, the Curve. I've done extensive testing on the Curve. You get it's like a Q Revo, except it's in a Curve base station, which I absolutely love. It only comes in the color white. All these other ones I've shown you, a lot of the Q Revos come in white or black, and I'm really kind of torn. The more advanced ones, they don't get scuffed up like you would think. You'd think a white one, it's gonna run into a bunch of stuff and get all scuffed up. We can see the black one here. It's got some scuffs on it, so I don't notice a big deal with the color of it's gonna show a bunch of wear and tear. Now the Curve, $1,100. This was like a $1,600, $1,700 robot when it first came out. It's exactly the same as the Edge. There's 4 models. There's the Curve, then there's the Curve without the camera. I think it's the X5 something. It's gonna be a little bit cheaper, but I actually recommend the Edge without the camera, the S5A. And then they have so that's 4 models. Again, I got a review, I did a comparison with the Curve and the Edge. They're exactly the same, except the Curve's $100 more because of the base station kind of looks space age or something. So this one I absolutely love. It's got all the advanced features, the dual divide, anti-tangle side brush that extends, carpet sensor, brush rollers that extend. It's got chassis lift. If you have rod-shaped furniture, this thing can kind of lift and kind of get over things. It doesn't go over super tall thresholds, but at least it does try to help unstuck itself. $1,100, that's my $1,000 robot. If you're wanting to spend $1,000, this is the $1,100 Roborock Q Revo. I've got the 3-month real world test, all kinds of videos. Don't be intimidated by the higher price point. The setup is exactly the same as this $400 one. You may have a few more settings, and in my videos, my first look and how to set up, I show you the settings that I recommend. So don't be afraid of the setup procedure, even though it costs a bunch of money. And that's the too good to pass up. Now we're gonna talk about some other deals and all of that. Let me get the cheaper ones out. Okay, so here's my 3 deals under $300, even though the first one I'm starting off with is not. It's $320. It's just too close to $300 to pass up. This is the Roborock Q10 X5 Plus. They sell an S5 Plus, which has a vibrating mop pad. I don't think it's worth the extra $50. Unless you have really shiny floors. They say it helps with streaks. I've never had problems with streaking, so they say that vibrating mop pad helps with that. So I thought these both clean the same, but this is a whole new lineup that Roborock just came out with. It's called the Roborock Q10 series. They got a Q7 series. I don't recommend that one too well because it doesn't have a carpet sensor. So these robots, these are classified as vacuuming and mopping combo, which they do. And the Plus has a self-empty base. So the base station, it's gonna back up. There's a dust bag, a vacuum cleaner. It's gonna kick on, suck everything out of the robot so you don't have to empty the dust bin. But you're gonna have to do a little bit of work yourself. You're gonna have to take the mop pad off. You're gonna have to take this off, put it in the laundry, clean it yourself. See, $300, $320, $80 more, and you get a base station that does that for you. That's why I'm telling you this. This $400 price point is the sweet spot with robot vacuum cleaners. It's a great starting point, but I understand if you don't have $400, there are some robots you can get, and we're gonna work our way down. Again, $320. This has a carpet sensor and it can raise and lower the mop pad. That's just gonna be such user-friendly for you that you're not gonna have to go in the app and show where a bunch of the carpet is and stuff. When they don't have carpet sensors, that's when you really start running into aggravation. So I absolutely love, this is the Q10 X5. This thing was full price for a very long time when it came out. This is gonna be, this is a really, really good sale price. It does a great job of vacuuming. Like I said, you're just gonna have to fill the water tank up, which isn't too bad. You just take this over there. There's a water tank, dustbin, but the plus symbol gives you an auto empty dock. They sell this without the plus, and it doesn't have this. It just has a charging base, which I don't like those, but you can save about $100 usually. Now, the Dream D10 Plus Gen 2. Be careful. They have one that's not a Gen 2. I don't recommend it. This is going to be $242. So almost $60, $80 cheaper than the Q10 X5. It has a self-empty base, but it has a mop pad. Like on this Roborock, you're going to be responsible for taking the mop pad off, you know, and you're going to be responsible for filling the water tank up, cleaning this mop pad, putting it back on. It does have a carpet sensor. Oh, I'm wrong. It is easy to get these things confused. This one does not have a carpet sensor. So in the app, that's why the cheaper price. You're going to have to go in there and tell it where the carpet is, which is okay. And it doesn't raise and lower the mop pad. So you can see for about 20, you know, 80, 60 more dollars, you get a carpet sensor and one that raises and lowers the mop pad. Anything cheaper than this price, you're going to get, you don't get a carpet, anything under $300, you're not going to get a carpet sensor, and it's not going to raise and lower the mop pad. Now, that's not necessarily all true, but those are the two things that I highly recommend when you're going to have a mopping robot. Under $300, it's going to be a lot more work on your part. It's not going to raise and lower the mop pad, and you're going to have to go in the app and do a bunch of work showing the app where the carpet is. So the D10 Plus 2. Now, the absolute cheapest one that I'm recommending, there's going to be a lot. This area is going to be the Wild Wild West. Under $200, there's going to be so many. I can't review every single brand. I typically look at brands that have been established, been around. Once in a while, I'll open up, I'll buy other brands. But Roborock Q7 Max. Now, I've got the Max Plus. This has the self-empty base, but they sell a Q7 Max without the self-empty base. It's just a robot that charges itself, but you'll have to take the dustbin, take it over to the trash can and empty it. Now, it may have a mop pad with it. I don't recommend using the mop pad because when you get into this price point, there's no carpet sensor. It doesn't raise and lower the mop pad. So these are essentially, under this price point, I consider these really, really good vacuums because they have LiDAR navigation. The Roborock app is very nice. And so that's why I'm recommending this one. Under $200, we never saw these prices with LiDAR navigation. So $159, the Q7. That's the one I'm recommending for the absolute cheapest. Now let's go over some of the other ones I recommend, and we're going to talk about them. Now, one last time, too good to pass up. Mova P10 Pro, QV35A, L10S Gen 2, L40, Edge S5A, P50, Slim, and Curve. And then the cheaper ones. And now you're going to see why this $400 price point is where I love to be. P10 Pro's number one, L10S Gen 2, there they are. Now here's some that are, this is going to be $400, that's the L10S. The Q Revo S was last year's model. It's going to be $459. It's still, these are recommended. It's just not highly as recommended. You're just getting hot water. You're getting hot air drying with the S compared to the QV35A. The Q Revo S5V is $549. Now it has the dual divide brush roller that helps with long hairs. So only get the S5V if you have long hair problem, but it's going to be like $150 more. There's the L40, and you can see, now we're going to jump into over $700. There's the P50 Edge. The Master is $800. It's got some older technology, but it's still a very good robot that I highly recommend. Q Revo Slim. Now here's the Shark Never Touch Pro. Let's talk about this. It's coming in at $649. Now that's the black one. See, this is the Never Touch Pro or Power Detect 2-in-1. They sell a white one, and the white one is always more expensive because it comes with a couple extra mop pads and stuff, but it shouldn't be that expensive. I would only get this one because this one is typically cheaper. They're exactly the same. It's just what it comes with. Now you're going to see 600. Now, I don't have a problem with this robot. It's just other robots have more features, a better app, and clean a little bit better. But you will not have a bad experience with this. It just isn't going to work as good. I use this at my house. I've got the white one in my basement right now, and it's doing it, you know, it always makes it back to the dock. The dirty water tank has dirty water in it, so it is doing a good job. It's just others do better. And typically that shark I just showed you, that's the sale price. I've never seen it that low. That thing was like $1,000. That is not $1,000 robot when it's full price. And sometimes the white one's like $1,200. And these are far, far superior robots. And even these in this area, even the S5V is much better. Maybe when you get, the Movic P10 Pro is better than the Shark. That's only if you want a Shark. Let's talk about the Eufy S1. Now, Eufy loves to put a lot of stuff on sale. They sell two models, the S1 and the S1 Pro. I do like them, but in my opinion, they're just a little too niche. They're great mopping robots, but they don't do a great job with like vacuuming and kind of all around cleaning. Now, but the S1 is going to be $700. The S1 Pro will probably be $1,000. They're good robots. You'll have a good user experience. I just don't recommend them right now because of everything else that's on sale. Now these, we're having issues. The E25 and E28 were just released. I've got to do more testing. They're dirty water tanks. The tank isn't leaking, but it's dripping from wiping the brush roller. And so right now they're not on my recommended list, even though they're going to be heavily marketed and heavily discounted. And so you can see the S1, $700. Well, that's too niche for me when you can get a P50 that does all around better. Now over $1,000. The Revo Curve, the Saros 10R, and the X50. So you can see this is going to be, you know, almost $200 more for the two. Now they sell a Curve X. I've got reviews on it. It's a great robot. It's just expensive right now. $1,700. But anyway, the Curve finally has come down in price, $1,100. Absolutely love it. I've done lots of testing with it, had zero problems with it. Again, there's the Curve S5X. That's the one without the camera. There's the Edge. Maybe, you know, I was hoping that the Curve was $1,100. If the Edge is $1,000, then that's the one to get. There's the Revo Master. I said had older technology, but it's still a very, very good. It's got dirt detection sensor, side brush that comes in and out, mop pad. Now, probably my #1 pick robot right now is the Saros 10R. I absolutely love it. I got extensive videos. I even have a video where I compare it to the next closest, which is the X50. Now, don't confuse that with the L50. I'm in my early stages of testing it. They just released that. It's really expensive right now, so I don't know when it's going to go on sale. But now here we have the X50. The LiDAR raises up and down. It's got robotic feet that move up and down to get it. So if you have thresholds, there's no robot that can do taller thresholds. It's got this dual brush roller, but one end is open on both of them so that the long hairs don't wrap, and it actually works very well. The one flaw I found, it doesn't wash the mop pads very well. The base station and its design doesn't have a lot of rough edges for the mop pads to spin against and clean, so it's a very minor problem, but I did find the Saros 10R was better. There's the Dream L10S Heat. Not sure the price that's going to be. There's the original Dream L10S, $400. It's an oldie but goodie. You just can't pass that price point up. Mova P10, they sell a P10 without the Pro. I have a comparison video on that. So if the P10 is $100 cheaper than the P10 Pro, that's going to be the one to get. Okay, so there is the best robots that are going to be on sale. Now, some of them might be $100 off. You know, that's just, I mean, that's a good price for like the Curve X or something, but these are really big discounts. So now let's get into under $300, and that's where we showed you the Q10 X5. Again, they have an S5 Plus, which is going to be more. Dream, there's my top three right there. Now this Eufy L60 has a place, $230. Here it is here. It's a robot that vacuums only. It has LiDAR navigation. It's going to come back to the base station. It's going to self-empty the dustbin. It works. A little older as far as suction power, but it generally just works. Now they sell a Eufy C10. This one's probably going to be on sale. And they sell these Eufy L50 and L60s with and without the auto empty system. And then the E20, you know, if you need a stick vacuum, this isn't too bad of a robot. The C20, so these two are going to be heavily marketed. But for me, the X10 Pro Omni has increased in price too much that it's not a factor. The C20 with its price range, there's better ones. And so let's look. The Eufy C20 $379. Well, yeah, it's okay. But man, if I spend $20 more, I get a far superior robot that's much, much better. This one's not bad. So if it goes down under 300, then it's a pretty good buy. Q10 X5, that doesn't have the plus. That means it doesn't have the auto empty system. So you know, $239 M5 Plus. It is a recommend, but just keep in mind, you're not going to get a carpet sensor, a little bit more work on your part. Now let's get into the Shark. There's only two Sharks I'm recommending, other than the Never Touch Pro. That's the one that mops. That's the only one I recommend that mops. They sell two other models that are not that good. So let's go into the Detect Pro for $300 and Shark AI White. Here's the Shark AI White. Here's the Detect. They sell a Detect Pro. I used to have it. I don't have it right now. I think I gave it away. But these they have LiDAR navigation. The Detect Pro has some more sensors on the front to help it with obstacle avoidance. It does an okay job. And it can detect the dust that it's picking up, and it'll go over the area if there's more dust in that area. And it has this odor neutralizing technology. So these are bagless designs. But with bagless, you have more work cleaning a filter that is extremely dirty. But the white one has been around a while, and $300 is a pretty good price point for it. Sometimes it's $500, $600. That's not a good price point. These are all, you know, when you get into this matrix, they're essentially the same. There's just a play on words. So kind of, and then this is the ones I don't recommend. They're going to heavily market this. The Shark 2-in-1, where you change out the dustbin with the mopping dustbin. It's an absolute nightmare to set it up. It's going to be under the Matrix brand. It's going to be everywhere. Again, the only mopping one is the Power Detect Pro 2-in-1. They sell a Power Detect that's not a Pro. This one at least washes the mop pads. The other one doesn't. It's got the big water tank on the front. So with Shark, these are the only two I recommend. Detect Pro, $300, and the white one. So with them being the same price, you're going to get a few more features with the Pro, Detect Pro. More obstacle avoidance, odor neutralizing technology. But when we look at the board and see, this is where it is all coming into light. $300. Well, if I spend $20 more, I get one that mops and actually does a really good job of mopping. Has a carpet sensor, lifts and raises the mop pad. These are just vacuums. You know, if I wanted just a vacuum, I'd get the L60 for $230. Now, they're going to sell a lot of Roombas. Now, there's basically three I'm recommending. The 104 is going to be $249, 405 is $399, and the 504. So let's look at this price. That robot, now they have two 405s. They're exactly the same. One's an Amazon only exclusive. Let's talk about $400. They mop your floor, they vacuum. They don't have advanced features that help with all of this. And that's where those other $400 ones are far superior. There's no obstacle avoidance whatsoever. It does have LiDAR navigation. The app is just okay. There's nothing to deal with long hairs. There's no hot water mop washing or anything. Now they do sell a 505. It does have really good obstacle avoidance, but its price is going to jump up, and then the other ones become better. Let's talk about, and they're doing a play on words. They've got a 104 and a 105, and they have a 105 with a mop and without a mop. They're all the same, you know, except, you know, the ones with the mop. The 105 and the 104 are exactly the same. These are okay. It's got a mop pad they do have a carpet sensor, but it doesn't lift the mop pad up and down. You have to change the mop pad. And there's going to be a little bit extra work on your part, but if you absolutely just want a Roomba, I'm recommending the 105, 104, 104 plus mop, the 505, and the 405. Just keep in mind, no obstacle avoidance. It has obstacle avoidance, and the mop pad can move off to the side, but that's it. Stay away from Roombas that look like this. This is old. Stay away from Roombas that look like this. This is called the Essentials. They're going to sell them with and without the automatic empty station. These are horrendous. They're going to be heavily, heavily marketed. And they're going to be under a couple, this is called the Q011. There's a, I forget all the names they've given, but they're all the same. They have, some have a mop pad, some don't. Stay away. Stay away from anything that's I. Roomba i5, i3, heavily marketed, heavily discounted, looks appealing, absolute stay away. These don't have LiDAR navigation. And some of my worst experiences in the world have been with the Roomba Essentials, and why they're still selling it, I have no idea. Because even at $150 or $40, you can get an L60, L40 without the self-empty station for that. And it has LiDAR. Now there's going to be lots of other robots on sale. This, if you want to pause the video, this is going to be what I recommend. And again, I'm going to put links to these in the show description notes, and you'll be able to find this on my website, justadadapproved.com. So I get a lot of questions on, you don't see any EcoVacs or Yeti robot vacuum cleaners on this. I have reviewed several models of that. I only have so much of a budget to buy these robots, and I've had kind of some bad experiences with their earlier models, but that's to say, a lot of robot manufacturers I had bad experiences with, but they've kind of fine-tuned. I've really enjoyed using the Roborocks, the Dreams, the Mova. Eufy's got an okay operating system. They're having a few problems there though, but I have done the EcoVacs. It comes down to what I can spend my money on. And I have done the X9 Pro on. I didn't like it. In my opinion, it was a miss. So I get a lot of questions, and it is the #2 best-selling robot in the world. And I need to do more of them, and there probably are some good ones, but the ones that I've done, the T30, done some of the Yetis, then again, they get into that. It's really hard to do these robot vacuum cleaners when they make 2 of the same models under a different name. They got Yeti and EcoVacs, and looks like it's the same model, but there might be one difference. So I have to buy this one and this one, do the comparison. That ends up being a ton of money. I've mainly focused on these because I think these are the future. I think Mova is in it to win it. I think Roborock's in it to win it. I think Eufy to me is like they're releasing products maybe without testing them as quite as good as they should. They're not afraid to test new things. It's just some of the problems, I don't necessarily, I like what they're doing, and I think the future is going to be good for them. It's just this E25, E28 I think are a miss. And Roborock, this whole new series that they released, this Q10 series, Q5, and they call it the QV series. The prices went up a little bit, but now I am glad to see they're on sale. When this stuff goes off of sale, it's a whole different game. But don't worry, these things are always on and off sale. Now, I say that, they're not all on and off. They're not at the same time. You'll see a random Dream L10S for $400. You actually saw it for cheaper than $400 for a limited time. Some random week during the middle of the year for whatever reason, I don't know. Try to follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and on YouTube that way, and on my website, justadadapproved.com. I'm going to try to come up with maybe an email where I'm constantly, I mean, this is my job. So I'm constantly looking at night when we're watching TV. I'm on my tablet, looking at pricing, looking at what's new, what's going on with robot vacuum cleaners. I'm constantly in it. And man, when I see these deals, I want to let people know. So follow me on my Just a Dad Approved website. I'll try to get the information out as I can. justadadapproved.com. It's all one word. I know in the video I spaced it out just so it'd be easy to read. I'm sorry. It's just justadadapproved.com, no spaces. And again, Amazon Prime Days, we make these prices. I would think we would see these in November. I'm not sure. But these typically be like that Dream L10S, that's always on sale. So, and the Q Revo S was on sale, and And you know, some of the higher ends are not heavily as discounted. They do start to come down in price as the older they get. So again, I really do appreciate everybody's support. I love what I do. This is our YouTube channel. Let me know in the comments what you think, what you're looking for, and what you think of this list. My very next video after this, if you're intimidated about buying a robot vacuum cleaner, I'm going to start at the very basic, how to buy a robot vacuum cleaner. So be sure and check out, it's going to start super basic, because I got to remember, I talk to people all the time that, oh, you do robot vacuum, you do Roombas, you do the ones that bounce off the walls. I'm like, wow. People, robots have changed so much since the old Roombas that just bounced off the walls, and they're only getting more advanced. So I'm super excited about the future with robot vacuum cleaners. I think they're the future. We're using them at our house. We're not vacuuming anymore. We're not mopping anymore. Granted, they don't get in the nooks and crannies, but for everyday mopping and vacuuming, they're doing the job. Now, granted, I am using 2 or 3 at a time. I think in the near future, though, they're there where they're mopping. So in the near future with vacuuming, I think they're going to be there too. So again, I really do appreciate everybody's support. Let me know what you think in the comments. I hope you have a great Amazon Prime deals day this week. Some things go on sale before Prime Days. Some things stay after Prime Days. So if you missed the 11th, still check the price. And I'm just trying as hard as I can to get the information to you. Let me know what you think would be the best way. And again, just really, really do appreciate everybody's support. Again, justadadapproved.com. And if you could, please like and subscribe. And thanks for watching.